trusted them. And it's because culture was coherent 20 years ago. Now it's in chaos. So now we're discovering we have to create alternative structures, which is all the new apps. And look, we're on Rumble.
Yeah, which
so
we never heard of.
We're looking for alternative places because we can't have this conversation on
That's
other
true.
platforms.
That's true.
And we're looking to reform the existing platforms. So that's the only two tracks Reformation runs on. You challenge, like Luther with the Catholic Church, you take it on. And either the Catholic Church reforms or you create a competing system, which is the Protestant Church.
Well, what do you think is going to... Let's talk about Section 230, that Big Tech's,
Yeah.
This is the only... You and I were talking about this on the plane on the way up. The only thing that can happen here is for people who believe in for truth to totally abandon. They have to totally abandon these platforms, the Twitter, the Facebooks, the YouTubes that are controlling the narrative. You have to totally abandon it, or you have to change it. And I don't know, how are we going to change it?
What we found here, Gene, and it was in the last 2 hours, is that the left is so incredibly industrious. This is where the church has got to. Will it change? I pray it does. We kind of pray and then let God do the work.
Right.
What the left does is they don't have any faith. They don't pray and let God do the work. They do the work.
Right.
And they show up where we don't show up. They built an infrastructure, Dr. Shiva was just talking about, where Twitter literally polices influencers off of the networks. If you're a Christian influencer and you are too influential, they will target, you will rise up in their ratings and they'll take you out.
Yeah.
Twitter is working with government to censor influencers that don't toe their manifesto. So it's being exposed right now.
Well, you've experienced it. We've experienced it.
Of course I have.
And the minute you know something's wrong because yesterday you had 20,000 and today you got 5. There's
Right.
It's not even they're not even good at it. They're
But the point that I'm making is that they've created a bureau, a nonprofit, because government can't censor you directly.
Right.
So they figured a workaround. They created a bureau, and they created a 501c3 type organization like a church in order to monitor and censor disinformation. Now, what's disinformation? Disinformation is if I believe in evolution, you believe in creation, that's fake news. If I believe that a man should marry a man and you say no, that's fake news.
Right.
So disinformation is anything that doesn't... So we are just now finding... Dr. Shiva, by the way, says it was an act of God that he found it at midnight. He discovered the documentation to expose it.
Yeah, and let's talk about this is some of what we're going to talk tomorrow night about on Flashpoint, because